Welcome to Reflections, Monday's short-form studio feature ahead of Friday's Photo Walk podcast. Thoughtful observations on creativity and, well, just life really. You'll find all 5 of this week's reflections on our Patreon channel, The Extra Mile. Street photography with eyes only. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. A regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. Gin ordering the song swapped around unconventionally to rhyme with the word in. And apart from the day in the tipple, it's a Friday, not a Saturday, and it's a beer, not gin, Billy Joel could practically have been thinking about this very table I'm sat at as I write this reflection, which is a bit of an exercise, perhaps for us both. I'll tell you why I'm thinking that in a moment or 8. So anyway, this chap, let's call him Fred. It's Friday night in London. I'm in a bar with a laptop. I realise I look like an oddball. I mean, who sits in a bar with a laptop in London on his own at 10:15 on a Friday? Fred is kitted out in a light blue striped shirt, the kind of horizontal stripes that were once very bold, but now look as though they've survived one spin too many in the washing machine. The darker blue pinstripes try their best to hold a pattern together, but they're not doing very well. Below, he's wearing claret shorts that stop just shy of the knee, teamed with what look like slip-on Skechers, the sort my father-in-law swears by these days. Across the table sits his wife. We're going to go with Mary. Mary is dressed rather smartly in a green tunic-style top, paired with black trousers and lace-up boots that look like they'd love to be Dr. Martens, but didn't quite make the audition. Neil, so cutting, I know, but I'm enjoying this. Come on, I'm not judging, I'm just observing. That's what we photographers are supposed to do, isn't it? Observe. I'm just making a picture with my eyes that's becoming the photograph on the virtual wall you're listening to, if that makes any sense at all. Anyway, Fred's hair is a thin, greying suggestion of its former self. Part of me wants to lean over and say, Fred, mate, I don't know, but I just trim it, set it free. And judging by the evidence on the table, 2 bottles of Pinot Grigio, 1 empty and 4 pints of lager, actually 3 empties in Fred's corner, I'd say they've been settled in here for a while. But you know what? They're talking. Not staring into phones, not brooding in silence. They're talking. Fred even breaks into song when Wham's Freedom comes on. And when George hits the line, all I want right now is you, Mary joins in. They laugh like they're still 20. And although I'm dreadful at identifying age, I'd say they're probably in their late 60s, easily. Meanwhile, a man in a rather uninspiring Pringle jumper. Let's christen him Roderick, because you have to be called Roderick to wear Pringle, don't you? Well, anyway, he's uncomfortably bristling at all this joy. He looks like the sort who came here for a quiet pint, but picked the wrong bar. I'd recommend the Piano Works, Covent Garden along the way, Roderick. You might even meet Billy there. And the guy who's making love to his tonic and gin. Gin ordering the song swapped around unconventionally to rhyme with the word in. This bar, by the way, is the late night lounge of Covent Garden's Travelodge Hotel. Oh, classy, Neil. Oh, classy. Don't be all snobby now. You were judging me a moment ago for noticing Fred and Mary's choice of dinner. I'm here myself, hunched over a laptop, trying to coax inspiration from email. My room downstairs, which is where I'd planned to do all this, is no help at all. It's dingy, road level, with a view onto some sort of Traitors-themed restaurant. It's not my favourite room. I've stayed here a few times, and this is not going to go down as I must go there again. The window display, in Traitors, has 4 hooded figures just across the road from me that stare directly across at my room. I don't like it, so I've come to this well-lit bar instead. I was wondering whether they're real or mannequins, and if the latter, which clearly they are, well, anybody who's seen that old Twilight Zone episode, A Night at the Mall or whatever it was called, knows mannequins don't necessarily stay put for long in the dead of night. I shall sleep with a light on tonight. This evening, I had the pleasure of hearing Sean Tucker speak about street photography at a Fujifilm event. Tomorrow, I'll be sitting on a panel about community at a Fujifilm event, which explains why this bar has turned into a late-night office. As well as email, I try to scribble a few notes for what's ahead tomorrow. Sean shared an exercise he sometimes sets out at his workshops. Apologies, Sean, if I'm giving away some trade secrets, where participants head out in pairs, but they leave their cameras behind. The task? To photograph with their eyes. What a wonderful concept, and something we probably do far more than we realise. Well, I love his take on the reasoning behind the suggestion. Without a camera, you notice differently. The pressure to capture dissolves, and suddenly you're a bit more free to see. The light falling on a wall perhaps, footsteps invading the shade, the small dramas playing out at bus stops and doorways. Photographing with your eyes only is about training attention, tuning into moments without the safety net of the shutter. It's practice for the imagination, really, a way of sharpening your seeing before the camera ever comes out of your bag. I think I'm doing it now. And since writing Reflections, I've been doing this consciously day after day. It's like a 365 without the camera as I sit here in this bar. Everything is of interest. I mean, there's a man with carefully sculpted hair, the kind that probably involves more mousse in one night than I've owned in a lifetime. He's nursing a pint of, well, it's either lager or cider. I think cider by the colour, in one hand, and a paperback in the other. The book's open, but I'd wager he has not turned a page in 20 minutes, because he keeps glancing around, as though he's waiting for somebody to notice how intellectual he looks. Oh, this? Just me, Hemingway and pint of Strongbow. Across the way, there's a couple. Now they're in silence, and they're staring at nothing in particular. Their table is a shrine to fizzy drinks, Coke and Sprite, and I think there's a J2O making an unfizzy cameo. Or is that fizzy as well? Not really a J2O fan. And then there's the family table. I like this one. Parents doing their best, "We're all together, isn't this nice?" routine, while their two teenagers are locked into parallel universes via their phones. Thumbs flying, faces lit by the unmistakable blue glow. I tell you what, if the building collapsed around us right now, they wouldn't notice until the Wi-Fi drops. Oh my, Fred and Mary are now having a canoodle. Fred is saying how much he loves Mary in that loud voice certain types of parents use in Tesco when they say, "Oi, come here, Kian. You're a little shit, you are. Stop hitting your f***ing sister." Fred says, "I'm telling you, Mary, we can do things. We can. We're different for the rest of our lives. We know you are, we are. And I tell you what, that's all we've ever done. I love you." I've no idea what they're talking about, and I paraphrase slightly, but I don't think they know either. But Mary seems to like Fred just telling you, and they both look content, waiting for another Wham song, no doubt. A group of hen party guests passed through 5 minutes ago. It's a busy place, this, you know. They look reasonably calm, I'd say, and very much together. I suspect tomorrow night is the big one. Friday night, just the warm-up. Unless they're visiting libraries, of course, which is a faint possibility. Honestly, I do like this hotel. This is the one I choose most often when I come into London. I thought I'd better be clear with that. Across the way to my 2:00, two tourists who were doing that first night in the capital bewilderment look. They're sipping gingerly at their pints, as though lager might be a local delicacy. They're not quite sure how to eat. Every few minutes, one of them takes a photo of the other. Neither of them really noticing the Travelodge corporate mural in red, white and blue, photobombing every shot. In the corner, 4 younger lads with backpacks wedged between their legs. They've just arrived. They look a bit sheepish to me. I have a feeling they're about to order a pint with 4 straws. Oh, God, Fred is now slurring. that he's happy. That's all you need in life. You don't need any more, Mary. That's what this whole life's about. That's what it's f***ing about. I'm telling you, it's like listening to a filthy-mouthed Shakespeare comedy. Finally, a table for two with an elderly couple. Now, they're not talking much, just holding hands across the tabletop. There's no theatrics, no fizz bottles, no cider novels, just years of wonderful companionship, distilled into comfortable silence. This is bar life in a Drury Lane budget-ish hotel. It's London price budget anyway. So I'd like to suggest something a little different today. It's an exercise in photography, and it doesn't involve a camera. The idea is very simple. Photograph with your eyes and write it down. Don't photograph with the phone in your pocket, not with a lens that you saved months for, but with that most remarkable piece of equipment you were born with, your own sight. It's, as I say, Sean Tucker's idea, not mine. It's brilliant, Sean. And I love this because so often we're caught in the business of capture. We're driven by the thought of what we'll post, how we'll frame it, whether the light is good enough. But without the camera, there's no end product. Suddenly you're free. You're not photographing to prove anything, you're simply paying attention. It's remarkable what shows itself when you look this way. The rhythm of a couple's conversation as they lean over the table. The pattern of condensation sliding lazily down a glass. Now, I could be busy documenting characters with my camera, but I'm not. I'm just looking. And noticing, looking, has its own weight. Photographing with your eyes isn't about memory either. We know memory's slippery. It changes with every retelling. My stories certainly do. Probably why I say, stop me if I've told you this before, prior to a tale. What it gives you instead is a moment of immersion, a deeper practice in presence. You're not racing to preserve life on a card, you're meeting it as it is. So that sounds a bit poetic. I'm sorry, I do have a reasonable amount of time on my hands while I'm looking at all these fascinating characters. And perhaps that's the lesson here. Photography isn't about making pictures only. It's also about making attention, training ourselves to notice the overlooked, the colours, the gestures, the in-between moments that slip away if we're not awake to them. So, maybe try this one tomorrow or on your next walk. Leave the camera at home. I can't believe I'm saying this. Photograph with your eyes. You might not come back with files to download, but you'll return having truly seen. And that in itself is a picture worth holding. Fred, by the way, is done for. He's just ordered cheesy chips. Cheesy chips, I think, are the DEFCON 1 food of the late-night optimist who still thinks starch and melted dairy is going to bring some form of clarity. Good luck, Fred. See you at breakfast.